So we are going on to week number 2 of the MLB lockout, and yesterday it was a little cloudy outside, so I was drinking some coffee out in my backyard, and I thought to myself, man, I am running out of things to discuss on the channel. But then someone retweeted an old clip of Joey Votto talking about the Astros and whether or not we should forgive them. So we're going to go ahead and break it down in just a moment. But the question of today's video, is it time to get over or move past the 2017 Astros scandal? Because we all saw what they did in 2017. They won the World Series. And I remember at the time watching it live and thinking, this is one of the greatest series in postseason history. Well, fast forward to November of 2019, The Athletic posted an article about Danny Farquhar really noticing that the Astros were banging on something. And then John Boy, he found the clips and blew the whole thing open and tattled essentially on Major League Baseball, kind of covering it up. Robert Manfred then answered by giving the players immunity. He called the World Series trophy a piece of metal. And then also, if you forgot, Carlos Correa said this to Cody Bellinger.
You can say whatever you want, but Cody Bellinger's job is to look for information, get informed, know the facts for sure. Before he stands in front of cameras to talk about other players, you should get informed. You should be informed before you talk about other players. If you don't know the facts, then you gotta shut the
So the entire thing was a perfect storm for it to blow up in the faces of the Astros, Robert Manfred, and really just the game of baseball in general. And since November of 2019, the Astros have endured endless trolling, whether it was from people holding signs or people getting angry enough to the point where they were carrying trash cans to the edge of a wall and then tossing it onto the field of play as the Astros were playing their home team. So is it time to move past the 2017 Houston Astros scandal? Let's go ahead and break it down right now.
We move on from the Astros booing.
Yeah, and there's no question about it. The idea that they were the only one doing something wrong just baffles me. But I agree with you completely.
But if Altuve gets to first base,
yes, very fond of him. I like him a lot.
what kind of conversation do you have?
I've had lots of conversations with him. We talk about hitting almost entirely.
But no
and he's one of the
garbage
best hitters.
can, no garbage can mentions. Like, you can't even have a little subtle dig, can you?
No, because he came out and said that, listen, he came out and said that he had no part in it. And I have to believe a person based on, I'm assuming he's telling the truth, so I'm going to believe him, and then we move on from there.
So Joey Votto, one of the best players / leaders of my generation. I'm 25 years old. You might be a little bit older or younger, but Joey Votto, easily one of the more recognizable and respected players from my generation. He says that it is time to move past what the Astros did in 2017. Now, another perspective, this is coming from Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett, one of the breakout stars over the last few years for the Oakland Athletics. Keep that in mind. This is coming from an A's player, a direct rival of the Houston Astros. He was on the Rose rotation from John Boy Media. This is from a few months ago, but it reminded me that this clip was out there after I saw the Joey Votto clip. So here's Chris Bassett talking about the Astros in 2017.
Like, we knew what was going on. Every team in the big leagues knew what was going on. But now, no, they're just really, really good. This is not to open up a massive can of worms kind of thing, but like, Houston was not the only team doing stuff. Like, there was a lot of people. I mean, fortunately, but unfortunately, only one team essentially got caught doing it, or was the guinea pig of it to like clean the whole entire league up. But there was a lot going on. The entire sport knew what was going on. So it was like, well, Houston's doing this, so we got to do this to try to keep up with them. And instead of someone stepping up, and I don't mean a player, instead of like the MLB or whoever it may be, they knew what was going on. Instead, no one stepped up. Everyone let it happen. And unfortunately, it escalated into something so big that John Boy and freaking the internet had to basically tattle on all the people and be like, they literally basically had to shove the proof in the MLB's face before they did anything, which is always the case with the MLB. The MLB never is ahead of a story.
Right.
They're always chasing the story behind and trying to cover up everything with the steroids, and that's how it's always been, unfortunately.
There you have it. You just heard from two very well respected and honestly very talented Major League Baseball players. One is Joey Votto, a former MVP, and one is an interdivision rival. There's no bias there, and they are coming out and saying that it is time to move on simply on the fact that, as Chris Bassett put it, Major League Baseball and Robert Manfred used the Astros as guinea pigs, and that pretty much every other team in Major League Baseball was cheating. They just weren't caught cheating, if that makes sense, to the fullest extent of having a John Boy breakdown. So since 2017, the Astros, they've actually fared pretty well. They made the ALCS in 2018, they made the World Series in 2019, and ALCS again in 2020, and the World Series in 2021, we saw that they lost in 2018, 19, 20, and 21. So that's something to keep in mind. A lot of people are saying, yeah, the Astros have been good since 2017, but they have yet to get over the hump without cheating. So that's a big point. We'll bring that up in just a few moments. Now, the flip side to the argument that the Astros can't win without cheating is the fact that in 2021, the Astros had the highest team OPS in Major League Baseball. Jose Altuve had 32 doubles, 31 home runs, and a near 130 OPS plus. Carlos Correa had 34 doubles, 26 home runs, and a 131 OPS plus. And then a former Astro, I do want to talk about him because he was the MVP of the 2017 World Series. George Springer had 42 extra base hits and a 143 OPS plus in 78 games for the Blue Jays. And then last but not least, AJ Hinch in 2021 with a Tigers team that no one expected much from. He went 37 and 34 in the second half. The Tigers were one of the better teams in the second half without Matthew Boyd, without Turnbull, and they looked pretty promising going into 2022, and one of the biggest reasons why, AJ Hinch. So the problem that we run into is the fact that, yes, the Astros won the World Series in 2017 when they were cheating, but ever since that point, even though they've been good, they lost in 2018, they lost in 2019, they lost in 2020, they lost in 2021, so they cannot get over the hump. But it's almost like Skip Bayless talking about LeBron James. Is it worse to lose in the World Series than to even make the World Series? Because LeBron, he's never going to catch up to Michael Jordan in Skip Bayless's eyes, because LeBron, he's lost in the finals, whereas Michael Jordan hasn't. So that's the biggest issue right now, is the verdict that the Astros, they can't win without cheating, in my opinion, considering how good they've been since 2017. And a reminder that there has been no confirmation that the Astros use buzzers against the Yankees. I know a lot of Yankees fans are just holding on to that, like firmly grasping it, but I don't know if that happened. The only thing that is concrete and evident was what happened in 2017. And ever since that point, the Astros have been a World Series contender every single season. So to me, I wish they never would have cheated, but just like Chris Bassett said, everyone else was cheating, so they're kind of being treated like Barry Bonds, where, hey, everyone's cheating. Barry Bonds started cheating as well to, catch up, because at the time, Carlos Beltran was on the team, and he said that the Astros sign stealing was behind the times, basically meaning that every other team was ahead of them in that department, so they should use cameras and bang on trash cans, although that is very barbaric. I don't know. This is kind of a video that I was pushing off for a while because I didn't know my exact thought process or the way that I was going to go about it and break it down. But I think after what Chris Bassett said and what Joey Votto said, I'm willing to say that I don't forgive what the Astros did. The Astros are a very, very well-run organization. They traded for Yordan Alvarez. They made fantastic additions, whether it was through the draft or signing foreign players with Kyle Tucker, Framber Valdez, Luis Garcia. I know those two guys weren't very good in the World Series. Kyle Tucker, he wasn't the same guy in the World Series either, but they have a lot of talent, and I really think that they're going to be good going forward, even without Garrett Cole like they were in 2021, or without Carlos Correa. He's most likely going to leave, whether it's to the Tigers or to the Yankees or to the Angels or any of the other speculated teams. I really feel like the Astros are still going to be good. Maybe not a full-blown World Series contender, but I do believe they're going to make the playoffs. And again, I wish they never would have cheated, because they are a team that would be a lot of fun to talk about. Jose Altuve was one of the most liked players in all of baseball, and now we have to make videos like this. So let me know in the comment section down below, have you gained respect for the Astros, or are you going to continue to troll them every single season for the rest of forever? Because whether we like it or not, this will be a part of baseball lore for the rest of history. As long as I'm alive, even if Jose Altuve makes the Hall of Fame and he walks in with his buddy Carlos Correa, the trash cans will be brought up. Everyone is going to be tweeting about it. But that does it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully baseball comes back soon, because I'm getting bored.